Hello, welcome to JNW TV. Welcome to my live stream. Welcome, guys. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. Today, I'm here once again for another topic, and guess who will be joining me soon? Ohui Inside is joining me soon. Hello, Ohui Inside is in the building. Ohui Inside is in the building, looking beautiful as usual. Hello, Ohui Inside. I'm so happy to see you, and I'm so happy to have you in my live stream today.
Hi, JNW TV.
Hello, V-side. Ah, it's live. I don't know.
Can you hear?
My light is not that bright. Is it okay? Please, just a minute. Let me see what I can on the other light.
Just a second.
Think. Sorry. Okay, I think it's better. Oh, we inside. Welcome to my live stream.
Thank you so much, Genius. JNW TV. I'm very well, thank you. And yourself?
I'm fine, thank you. So happy to have you. I'm so happy to have you in my live stream. Hi, Saint in England. Hi guys, welcome to JWTV. Ohui Inside is here joining me to talk about marriage. Those who are married from home to abroad. So we have very interesting, and I talked to Ohui, and she decided to come and help me. Married from home to abroad. So guys, today is going to be very interesting. And Ohui is in immigration, and she's seen a lot of people that I believe she knows a lot of people that because she's been helping a lot of people to bring their wives and so on. So I believe she also have one or two people that they brought family here. So we are coming to discuss about it. So guys, and Mr. Dominic, thank you so much for joining us. Today's discussion is about the people, not only women that they marry. We have men also. Women also went for go home to marriage and come. So it's not only the men. So we are going to discuss about marriage that's coming. Those that are married to abroad. So that's the discussion we are going to talk about. Ohui Inside. So this is what we are going to talk about today as I need Ben to help me.
Yes, host. I will let you pave the way on the subject, and I will come in with the migration aspect of marriages as well. So we have a lot to combine and unpack on this subject today. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you so much for honoring my invitation. I'm so happy and I'm so honored to have you in my live stream. Okay, guys, so we are here, and Ohui, please, if you can share me on your community, and let's see if we can have other people to join us soon to discuss about this important topic. Thank you.
Okay, just a second. I will do that.
All right, thank you so much. So, guys, this topic is very something that I'm always dying to talk about. Is we want to talk about marriage as one of the most important. It's a daily life, so it's very important, and we need to discuss about it. Those that are home, that they got married, they married, and then brought them here. Some marry not because of love, but some just marry because they want to travel to abroad. So that's what we saw. A lot of people have experienced a lot of challenges because of that. So we decided to just come in to talk about it. So we have people who go. I mean, a lot of people have facing these challenges, and um, our brothers here mostly is the men who goes home to marry. Actually, mostly is the men. I don't know why today my life them somehow. I don't know. So okay, I think it's okay because I can see Ohui is more brighter than me, so I don't understand why. I don't know whether
That's
it's my
fine.
life or whatever. I don't understand.
It could be different weather settings. I may have
Okay.
some sunshine more than you do, but
Okay.
however, I can see you clearly. I hope you can see me as well.
I can see you more. You're more brighter, you know. So,
Okay, to start with today's topic, I know the subject matter is on marriages, that's especially men or women in Europe or outside Africa who will try to bring either their wives or their husbands. So we just classify them as spouses into Europe. Most of the time, I would say from a migration aspect is that we should make sure the relationship is healthy and there are no issues while we plan to migrate with our spouses. I'm saying this in the sense because there's been research into spouses who bring the other partners into Europe or wherever that the marriage have issues or not healthy. There are instances where a spouse can bring the partner to Europe and immediately the lady comes, she has to try and get a job. When she gets a job, the man is the one in charge of her salary.
yes.
Instead of allowing him or her to have his or her independence, the independence ends because they feel they have brought them over and that they have lost their rights entirely. So before migrating, be it whichever male, female, spouses must ensure the relationship is healthy and that when they come, they don't feel entrapped so that they can help each other to better their life and their families. As well, when they settle, it's very unrealistic or very sad
Yeah.
that you may have a job, you'll be working and earning the money, but you have no right over the money simply because your husband would prefer or your wife will prefer you have a joint account and they use the joint account as your account for receiving your salary. It's a command. So it pushes the spouse and they don't have much say. It begins from their finances, from finances to disagreements, and from disagreements to sometimes abuse, and sometimes it can also lead to death. So these are some of the things we need to look out for. If there are red flags, try and resolve issues, try and discuss issues while planning to join your spouse. Other than that, these red flags that we continue to skip sometimes can lead to major issues when we settle. And this is from the migration aspect of things. So JWTV, I hope this helps. I am here with you. If you have any other questions, our viewers are welcome to put them through. If you are not too sure about something we say, we can still digest and get a better understanding, because the aim of this is to ensure that these are the little things that we ignore that develops into bigger problems in the future.
Okay. It's true because and another thing is but I sometimes I blame some of the ladies back home, and why I'm blaming them is it's because of coming to Europe, and because of that anyone that comes home just said, oh, I want to marry you, they won't settle, they won't stay with the person, they will just accept because they want to come to you. And trust me, I believe when it's like that, when you come here, because the man also just brought you because you want to make business out of. Some brought them because of love, but some brought them as soon as they just come, they want to make sure that they make the money that they spend over them. They make more than what they spend over them, and that is not love, and that is not marriage. So, for me, I will plead to my those ladies back home to make sure the man that they are getting married to, not because they want to come to Europe, but they should at least stay with the man a bit. Even if it's distant, you can still do something. Not because of you abroad you want to travel, you just jump into it and just come. And when you come, all this abuse is happening. And some of them, I believe also some of them, they comes with what do you call it? The men, some of them are good, but some of the ladies also come and take advantage of the system here.
I think it works. You can never
Yeah.
prejudge who will be good or who will be bad. We have it among the feminine aspect and we have it among the male aspect. So you never know, but life brings out the actual characters of people as a matter of time. So whatever you do, whatever it is, you also need to make some time to assess your steps before you make any move. It can be a male abusing a female abusing a male. It's not a one size fits all. We are all involved. We can all do different things at different times. So I would say it goes up to all of us, male, female, adults, spouses. But the danger, as I just mentioned, is if these red flags, if you have problems with your spouse and it's not settled, the probability that when you follow them through, and in that sense, they feel they have more rights over you because they spent a lot in bringing you over. I would not see how my spouse will tell me they love me, they want us to be together, we continue our marriage or relationship or settle together and spend money for me to come. And when I get to him or her, I become a slave. But the reality is, it happens. The reality is, per the migration statistics, all these happens. And there are cases that is dealt with day in and day out. It doesn't matter where in Europe, in every country, something of that sort happens. So I wouldn't really cut it and say it's for one side. It's for all and across the board.
So I think they really have to work on it, the both sides, because somebody was telling me I have both. One of our brother is here. She went home. She just knows the guy, the girl within a month. He just went home to marry the lady and came here with the lady. When the lady came, things went very bad, and the lady have to, because of the law of this place, some of them when they just come, they just know that if if anything, because the love is not there. So as the love is not there, for me, I think it's because some of them just want to come to you, so they don't care. As soon as they just arrive, they make sure that as the love is not there, they find their own way. So their own way, a way to find their own way, they'll start mistreating the man instead of the man doing it. So they'll start mistreating the man, and when it's happened like that, then later on, because that's what happened to that our brother I'm talking about. The lady was just too much. Was just worrying the man too much to the extent that the man sometimes have to sleep in the car. He cannot go home because of the wife was too troubled. So he had to decide to take the lady to a different country. And after when the lady get to a different country, started enjoying all the single mother and so on. So she decided to throw out everything. And the sad part of the story is the child, one of the child, he had to use it, and because of money, at that place he's supposed someone paid for him to use the child so that he can get a document. So instead of the child bearing the husband's name, he used it to bear another man's name. You see. So these are the
Okay.
things that, yeah, these are the things that really affect a lot of people, because to now it hurts that our brother I'm talking about, because like your own child, but in Europe it's not your child. You see, it's not your child in Europe, because it's in the document shows that the child is bearing someone's name. So you can imagine. So these are things that is really really disturbing. I know there is the both side, and but we really need to advise the people that goes. If you really want to marry someone and you think you are married for love, then you have to study the person very well. You don't just wake up one day and somebody just show you a picture of a lady or a guy and you just rush to go and marry. Even though you are going to study each other, trying to be at home, maybe be at home, sometime go for one month, 2 months, to just spend some time with that person and see the character. So it's very difficult. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you for passing by. Sorry, we are here talking about those that are married from.
Sometimes, sometimes it's not only the spouses themselves that causes the problems for themselves. We also have spouses who travel, and because they have no knowledge of their new surroundings, they tend to trust whoever they come in contact with. For instance, everywhere you go, you definitely may meet someone from your nationality or whatever. There are groups, there are different organizations. Sometimes, if you are not fortunate and you join the wrong group, that as well can cost you in the future.
Oh yes.
Another clever way to know about your surrounding is to go to maybe your community center for information, or go online. You go online and read about the area you find yourself in. Because if, let's say, your husband or wife, as you all know, the busy life of Europe. People may be working all the time. People may not have time for each other. Should that happen and you land in a relationship or friendship that's not healthy, sometimes you get brainwashed and it can change your whole being because you find yourself in a place you are not used to. And maybe the one you expect that he or she will be there for you is also not there for you all the time. You may end up joining other groups. And if you are not careful, you are told so many things that do not have any holdings. I have heard that if you change your son or your child's name to another man's name, you can get a passport. I have heard that if you do this, this will happen. There are so many stories among migrants. Sometimes the stories just don't hold. But as naive as we can be, we take in everything we are told. Maybe someone can even tell you if you come and you don't allow your husband or your wife to be in charge of your account, you cannot get medical care. Out of ignorance, they believe all this. And it's not their fault. It is because they have not had much knowledge about their surroundings. It's not everyone who has that ability. But then, if the relationship is also healthy, you can talk about all these things. The one who inviting you to come over should be able to discuss the area with you. I don't know Spain. I'm joining my husband or my wife in Spain. I don't know the area. If the relationship is healthy, my spouse should be able to tell me what to expect, what they do, the culture there, the practices there, how to respond to situations. If you need an emergency, this is the number to contact. If you have a medical condition, this is the number to contact. All these things. If the relationship is healthy, you are covered. But whereas there are problems, you'll be surprised that the same man or the same woman who brought you to Europe will be the one who will let you out as a scapegoat. And you will find yourself wanting. So I believe we take it in turns and we digest them as we go along.
You're right, absolutely. And that's what happened. And it's sad when it's like that because it's there is I believe because the couple does not understand each other and some it worked for them, but majority it doesn't work for them because of that. It's majority that it does not work for them because they are not being sincere to each other. And I believe as you just explained, I believe some not for love, you know, because if it's for love, I believe they will be they'll be honest with each other. And for example, some of them will just go home and the people over there thinks, oh, I have someone in Ghana we call it boga, boga befi. So it's like so when it's like that, it's just like everybody thinks boga. As he's a boga, he has money, will come and so on. So when they get to this place, after they get married, finish, and after that person will go and spend all that he has in the account to go and do that show. And when they come back, comes here, and sometimes when they get to realize that things are not exactly what they thought it was.
That's
You understand?
right.
And so things change. When it's like that, their attitude change. Because just like he thinks the money, the way he comes home to spread money, he thinks when he comes here it's going to be the same. At the end of the day, maybe when they come here, things are not the same, and where the husband is even working, if he's back, or maybe he thinks the husband is working in the bank, is working in the big, maybe some big company. Anyway, all are big companies, but important position. So when they realize that they comes here and they are doing other jobs that is somehow, so they will like feel like, hey, this is not what I thought it was. And they thought maybe come here, you get the money to do
Yes.
whatever you send to family, those things. So when they get here and sometimes they see things like that seriously, and I think that is the main another problem that always cause all this problem because it's like they are not being told the real truth to them. Like, okay, it's not easy as I came to marry, but we are going to manage life and manage to I mean manage. I mean explain this condition here to them so that when they get here, they will not be surprised that okay, this is not what I think. But if they show them that hey, where we are just the money is on the floor, we are picking, and life is so easy. And when they enter here, life is not easy. That's where things become somehow. This one is like it's like the mindset is not the same and disappointed and somehow. So when it's like happen, is the relationship become another thing altogether. So I believe that one also affects a lot in the relationship because they in the marriage because they know the truth about but what they think and what they see on telly is not the same. They are seeing it. So when it's happened like that, it become a big problem. And today, tomorrow, you'll be hearing stories, problems upon problems. So I believe that one also cause a bit. That one also cause. So our people need to really tell them the truth about what is going on here. Tell them the truth. Maybe I just came to marry you, but it doesn't mean that where we are things are easy and so on. I think Whiskey have sent a message, but was a question of what?
I think there is a question from Team BCCW,
Okay.
and she wants to know what if I think it's a she, so I assume it's a he that.
Yeah. What if he was good and
So what if he was good and he changed in abroad? Well, people do change in life, but I also believe that for every reaction there could be an action that you must as well look out for to know why they have changed. It could be that the change in behavior is as a result of your action, because there is this saying that no one marries his or her enemy.
enemy exactly.
So if they were not happy with you, they wouldn't have brought you in the first place. It's
Exactly.
because they want to be together. So if you are together and it's rather becoming a problem, then definitely something
It's
is
wrong.
wrong. But if there is also adequate communication, I'm sure each spouse, be it whoever is here and whoever is joining, can communicate nicely. I earn this amount, I have these bills to pay, which is not usually like Africa, which is a bit cheaper. So maybe it may happen you had a different lifestyle in Africa compared to in Europe. If your partner can explain this to you when you come, it doesn't take you by surprise. Maybe
Exactly.
your spouse is able to give you so much at the end of every month in Africa. But when you came to Europe, that is no longer happening. If you are not careful, this financial disagreement on its own can cost both of you. So it all boils down to communication. If you know what is happening, if you know what the finances are, if you know what the expenditures are, I think it helps you to understand the situation better, the situation in your new environment. But whereas you are just left in the dark, it brings a lot of misunderstandings as well. So I hope, team, this answers your question. I will hand over to Jane to continue with the rest of the discussion. And any questions that comes in, I will pick it up for her or myself.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your insight. And I think Whiskey also asking, is it a question or is it everyone is we're trying to do the end gives.
I think, though it is the same.
Yeah.
Though it is the same from men, because some men always want to dominate their wife without giving them freedom.
Yeah.
Yes, Whiskey. I believe we all know our spouses and what they can do and what they can't do. If you know that your husband or your wife was dominating you in Africa and it never changed, you can't expect something different when you come to Europe, because it is the same man and it is the same character. So it's either you get used to that or you solve this domineering characters before you are together. But if it's something you do not look into before coming, and you already know that about the person, it becomes a matter of compromising. And the problem is, for how long can you compromise rather than trying to discuss and resolve issues?
Okay. I hope whiskey I understand what you mean right now. So it's it's both sides as Ohui inside just said right now. It's both. And they just have to, what I think is they just have to work hard for the both what you are doing, what you are, because marriage is a long time. Then it's not something like something to go and buy from the market, and if it's not good you trade. No, it's something that we need to. So when it's happened like that, we need to work hard. That's why you need someone who can understand, as Ovi inside just said. You need someone who can understand and explain to that person. The person understand that this is the situation. So when the person is here, it cannot like be. I can't take the person. It cannot be surprised to the person because you have already explained the situation. But if you did not explain and you go home to go and bring the person, at the end of the day, when they come and what he thinks, because seriously, those who goes home to marry, they really spend. They used to spend a lot when they are getting married. They are the one to sponsor everything from the woman and from the woman, everything. So like when it's like that, the person think, oh wow, I've gotten a rich man. And when you get here, it's not going to be as you said. The bills here and the bills over there is not the same. The rent here and the rent over there is not the same. So no matter how much you earn, at the end of the day, you have a lot of expenses to pay. So it's good for them to know all this, so that when they come here, will not take them surprised. For them to be beginning to think, regretting of getting married to them or so on, because that really destroyed a lot of marriage that they married from home. It really destroy a lot of them. I think Tim. Okay. I think whiskey is asking. No, it's not asking. It said most our African ladies come to Europe or America or likely or culture from the Western, which is not our culture, and that to the let of marriage. Okay. So he's talking about those that came, and the end of the day, they are not using the same culture. They will leave the African culture. And what I think whiskey means is because of when we come because of the law. Here the women are having more, there's more opportunity,
Protection.
not the protection for women. So when it's like that, Africa, we abuse it. You see, we abuse it. Anything small, someone can just throw his husband out because of they have misunderstanding. And so if you don't go out or call police, you see. So because of that, I know one guy who is a friend to our friend, who the guy always have to leave home and come and sleep at the friend house because the wife will throw him out. No, you're not going to sleep at home. If you come, I'll call police for you. So the guy has to run away from the house and come and stay with a friend place. So I believe that's what the whiskey is saying. Yes, that's how some of the ladies say when they just come and take the advantage of the law to just they also have abusing their husbands. Yes, I believe that one also sometimes it does not help for marriage at all. It doesn't help at all. And Ohui, so what do you think about that one whiskey say?
In terms of the
Culture, like
the culture change, well, it all boils down to where you find yourself and your association. Let's say if you find yourself in a group that just about all of them have left their spouses just because they have seen that they have opportunities to use it against their spouse. They will always be in that group. But if you know yourself so well, I don't see how someone will bring you from Africa and when you get here, you turn against the person. Sometimes there are undiscussed or unresolved issues. So, if I brought you to Europe, it doesn't mean that the lady or the man does not have his or her rights. But then there is also law that governs us, be it the man or the female. Where we come from, there are also laws, but sometimes not all works. But maybe in Europe, it works more than the other side. So when the law begins to work, sometimes we may not understand and do conclude that the woman is wicked by reporting to police. But here is the case. He has brought me to join him and he's abusing me. How do I cope? And for how long? You may try coping, but what if one day you lose your life? So when that happens, you see a lady resorting to police station simply because they have no relative, like in Africa, that if you even have a problem with your spouse, you can rely on a family member or somebody to help you resolve the issue. If you come to Europe and you belong to a church and you have a problem as well, that both of you are unable to resolve, you can as well extend it to your priest or a counselor in the church. If all these are not working, it leaves him or her with limited ability to handle the situation. So they begin to fall on authorities. An authority will say, go to the police station, go to social service, go and report him here. Before you realize, things have gotten out of hand. So the best thing is you try resolving your issues among yourselves as much as you can. If it gets out of hand, you rely on maybe other organizations. But the more it continues to go, it leads to the detriment of your marriage and the relationship, even if it's not marriage. it can affect the relationship. And it will get to a point, one person wants to live outside the house, they can't live together, they can't talk, they can't communicate. Then the man will start saying, I have wasted my money on her. She came to Europe and she turned against me. These are all as a result of certain things. And that communication is the backbone of all these problems and encounters we have. And we need to understand that we had a different culture from where we came from. We are no more staying there. It doesn't mean we should throw our culture away, but we also come to meet new regulations that we need to try if we want to live in a new environment, stick to. Your inability not to stick to regulation as well can also lead you into troubles. So be it the male, be it the female, when we move, we need to move with the thinking that the regulations can change. The more we make these preparations for the change that will come our way, the better way we can absorb it than rather looking at it from the old perspective. Meanwhile, we are in a new environment. So if we need to balance it, it's a 50-50 issue. We cannot bring 100% of our previous behaviors where you could beat your spouse. If you want to, you can slap your spouse, you can kick your spouse if you want to.
That's no problem.
Your spouse may contain it, but people around may report it. How about that? And if they report and the authorities take action on this, it's not the lady who has reported, but the culture is such that they do not tolerate abuse. They do not tolerate abuse. That is why other people can even report on your behalf whilst you've not asked them to do anything for you. So my brother, my sister, if we have our issues and we can discuss it and get a better understanding, who else can come into our affairs? Nobody. Nobody.
Nobody, especially here. Nobody. Especially
Nobody
here.
can just enter your home. Nobody.
Nobody. Nobody. It's especially here. Here that our parents, sometimes our parents and some of, not everybody who are here with their parents. So it's difficult. And when it's something like that, if it's back home, something like that, the family will come together and they will sit down and talk and stuff and solve it. But here it's not like that. So that's why we need to choose our partners carefully. We should not just go because we saw the person attractive and the other side also saw that this is opportunity for me to go to you. Then when you come, it becomes somehow problems upon problems. And as I said, this particular brother was talking about, as we are speaking right now, they have not divorced, but they are not living together, and the lady wants even a divorce. You know, so it's happened to a lot of people, and it's sad. You just have to. They just have to choose their partner carefully. They just have to choose their partner carefully because with this is it doesn't help the relationship. It doesn't help the marriage to grow. And when they have children, it affects the children because you are living somewhere and your wife is living somewhere with kids, and it doesn't help at all. It doesn't help, and I hope they will change. They will change their attitude and learn to choose the real partner, the one who will be your friend, who will understand the situation. Even if you get here and you have to use one, what do you call it, drink milk without sugar together, or maybe eat gari without sugar, that a woman who can understand your situation, And I have one guy like that here. He went home. They did the marriage so simple. They went to the court to that guy said he did not spend more than 500 euros for that marriage. And And when he came here, everybody like, what is this? How can you go to Europe and just go and just marry like a poor person? He said he want to marry the way if the lady will love him, because he knows that in this place it's not easy. Going to spend all this money when you come back here, you are coming to struggle with. He was not ready. And trust me, when the man came, the man had brought them with the wife. They are living peacefully. The wife understands the situation and they are happy. Everything is okay. I've never had that a problem almost 2 years now. That it's not anything like that. Why? Because he did not go home to show the lady that hey, here there is money and there's spending money anyhow. So the lady understand. Even if a lady that is 500 to marry back home, you can
Mm-hmm.
imagine. So it means
Mm-hmm.
the lady understand, because if the lady did not understand, maybe it was how can you come to Europe and just be stingy and just go to court, just got married to me, you do not do wedding at
Yes.
church, make noise and so on. But the lady understand the situation and now they are happy. They are very happy. So I believe sometimes we just have to let the women or the men love us as we are, not because we want to show off, for them to love us because of what we show. They must love each other as naturally love, not materialism. Then because most of the marriage that cause all this misunderstanding is because it's not really love. You know, as you are a married woman, you understand what I mean. You have experience of marriage over 10 years, so you understand what I mean. It's not. It's when you are inside there and there's no love. And I believe because if you really love your husband, no matter how the situation is, unless the husband is abused man. If it's not, and because of the game and the situation change and things are not like the way you think, you still understand because it's not his fault. And when they say love is patience, love is this, all this, if you really love that man, you understand the situation and you will try to, even if you can't understand, you will try to understand the situation. You will try to just just work with him the way that you are seeing things. But because there's no love, anything small, they just get blow off. Just like I didn't tell me this, you don't know what you told me, this is not what you told me, you took and now it's not like that and you have deceived me, blah blah blah. You know. So I believe that all those things that has been happening to many women is because the love is not done. Because love, if love is there, love is patience. So we should be patient with our partners no matter what situation they took. Because I know some men can do anything to have a woman. Even they have to pull the moon down, they will do it just to have that woman, to marry that woman. So women, most of the women are even naive to believe whatever that they comes home to tell us. You know, I know majority are like that, but some are not like that. Some will just tell you the truth. Hey, this is how life is. You want it, you don't want it, you leave it. But most of the people does that mistake by letting them thinking everything is okay, and then the day things didn't go the way it's supposed to. So it's really something that it doesn't help at all. So it's not
I have a statement from Amaka. Or if I got the name wrong, just pardon me. Amaka or Ameka.
yes. Now for
Yes,
Pastor
Ameka,
Mhm.
welcome. And we are still unpacking on the subject. So all statements, all questions are welcome. But Ameka is trying to say that most women are ungrateful. So their husbands shouldn't bring them to Europe or abroad. They should leave them in Africa. Oh, Amaka, this is a very mean statement from you. So
Maybe
mean.
he has the
I don't
experience.
know what your experience is, but all I can say is you cannot paint everyone with the same brush because I'm a good example of
Mhm.
coming from Africa to abroad. I lived in Africa with my husband, and we decided to relocate. It wasn't a sudden decision. We really thought through for some time. So if you are with your wife, or even you are not with your wife, you could be in Europe and your wife will be in Africa. If you do not want your wife around you, then I'm afraid there's a problem with the relationship. Irrespective, you may have your experience of whatever encounter with your wife, but if you say all African women are ungrateful, I'm an African woman and I'm very appreciative.
Amaka is so angry with one woman who disappoints.
I'm very appreciative of the fact that I've had the opportunity through my spouse to be in abroad. I have never taken this or him for granted. But, like I said, if you have a wife and you do not want her around you, that alone could mean there's a problem.
There's a problem, exactly.
There's a problem. So you do not even want to live with your spouse. Maybe your spouse changed. Maybe your spouse never treated you well. But I believe there are reasons for all of these things that if you are able to digest, you can find the root cause and try to track it down and resolve issues. But please, it's not all the women that are very ungrateful. Ameka, it's not all the women.
You know, there's some of the guys also mistreat the women when they bring them. Some of them are working and they are taking the salary from their house. Ohui inside explained from beginning. And some of them, I mean, abusing their wives, So it's two sides of it's not one side.
Yes. I have another question from Whiskey TV. Whiskey is saying the Indians and the Chinese the Indians and the Chinese, no matter how much their husband has earned it, they can't divorce their husband because they stand and believe on their culture. Yes, this is perfect. I don't think any culture is ready for divorce, or I don't think any culture just wants every marriage to break down. I don't think so. But then, in the unforeseeable circumstance, marriages do break down due to certain reasons. I don't think an Indian or a Chinese woman just wants to be abused. I don't think so. But the truth of the fact is, sometimes because it was the man who brought them, they are under this compulsion that they have to do as the man says, even at the expense of their own life. Someone may be willing to do this for the rest of her life or his life. Someone may not be ready for this. So it is really an individual situation to find yourself in, that no matter how it is, no matter how he abuses me, I have no option Europe is still better than Africa or India. So I will continue to stay till I die. That is his or her opinion or interest. You cannot stop it. Someone too would say, no, I didn't come to you to kill me. I cannot stay and die. I will leave. Someone will also say, I will report to authority. So it all varies, but we have to understand what causes the problems and how we will resolve the problem so that it doesn't look like women are ungrateful when you bring them to Europe, or it doesn't look like men are also ungrateful when the women also work so hard to go and bring them from abroad.
Exactly.
So we just need to come together and try to work things out so that this regular saying of women are ungrateful, don't bring them to Europe, leave them in back home, let them rot there. No, 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 no. If we say we are in a relationship, America, let's try and erase this feeling about the ladies, because we have seen with some of the men as well.
Also abusing the and another thing, what Whiskey is talking about, I think he's having somehow point there because the reason why I don't want to, the reason why I think he's making a point in the China and Chinese and the Indians because
Mhm.
I think the culture, maybe here the culture is similar to their own, so they took things easy because we no 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 no. Because we sorry, my son is trying to distract me. Right? 1 minute, oh, inside, I'm coming. My son is disturbing
Okay,
me.
so we have a cultural problem as well as part of migration. We have a cultural problem because there is always this saying, this is how we do it from where I come from.
Mhm.
This is how we do it. But my brother, you are all my sister. You are not at where you used to do it like that. So it's a combination of the two. Then we try to find a balance.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
It's a
Welcome.
combination of the two. Then we have
Mhm.
to find a balance. Because if you say, this is how we do it, at where I come from, this is my culture, please, you are not in that setting. You have migrated. That's why we call migration. In the process of migration, things can change because you find yourself in a new environment. You find things are done differently. So you cannot continue to say that where I come from, a woman can slap the husband. Where I come from, my wife can slap me. That is at where you come from. Where you are now, that is not done. How about that? So that is why we need to find a balance. Just live a healthy, normal life. We need to find a balance
Public TV. I
because
hope you
if not, you
have a pass.
continue to live somewhere else, but your brain is always at somewhere else. You cannot coordinate the two. It's very difficult coordinating the two. So we need to try and make some changes as we migrate because things are not the same. That does not mean that if you are married in your country and you come to a new country, you have to divorce. No. If you didn't divorce in your country and you are in a new country and you want to divorce, there should be a reason. There should be a cause. And the ability to identify the cause and the reasons for whatever is happening, it's best to hold on to the situation and find a solution before it gets out of hand. So we have our cultures, yes, we hold on to our culture. We never throw them away because we migrate. No, but let's try those part of the cultures and the behaviors that's not good. Let's know that as couple, we stand to complement each other. I don't become your slave because you've brought me to Europe. I don't become your servant, but we can serve each other to complement each other. We can help each other to complement each other. But you cannot say that I've brought you to Europe now.
Okay, I lost Ohui's inside right now. I don't know what happened, but you'll be with me shortly. You will be with me shortly. So as we are talking, we are still on the topic of the women that they go home. Not only women, some men also, they marry, some men also come here. So we are just talking about it, the challenges about it, and so on. Mommy Family TV, I hope you are here with me. If you want, you can jump in and add your own. Whoever that wants to come in, um, you can't, you can't. You can come and let's talk about it. And Ohui inside is back again, so let's pick Ohui inside. Okay, very interesting topic. Ohui inside is in. Okay, so okay, welcome back, Ohui inside. What happened?
Sorry, I'm not sure what happened, but it's good to be back. So just as I was saying, that we have our cultures, yes, but we shouldn't also forget that where we come, they also have their culture. How do you live on your culture alone in another man's land? It's impossible. You need to come to a compromise. In your home, you have your countryman or countrywoman. So you know that we have our same culture. But we are not going to live in our house only all the time. We need to go out. We need to go into society. We need to work. We need to do things together. So if we want to live on just our culture, it becomes difficult to even settle.
So what I
because
think I'm listening.
Because in my culture, where I come from, I can use gun. I can shoot at any time. It's an example. Okay? So I've been doing that at where I come from. Anytime I'm upset, pull. Anytime I'm upset, pull. Okay? Now I have migrated. I need to change the way I do my things, because if I come and I'm doing pull here, police will come for me. Is that my culture? Pull. We need to make some changes.
Exactly.
Or where I come from, taxi drivers are fond of blowing their hooter, their horn. Beep. Even normal car, when they are driving on the road, beep all the time. It's not an offense.
Here's such a horn.
It is accepted. We are used to it. But here, police will come for you.
Exactly.
So it's not all the cultures that we have to carry with us.
Exactly.
Some of it in our homes is culture. We are used to it. But when we come and we are being told that this is how we do it here, we have to try and adjust a bit. That is not to say that you are married, you come to Europe, you have to end the marriage. No. We all have different levels of endurance, and we all have different levels of accepting situations. So I really, really believe in communication, because if we talk, I get to know what you think. If we don't talk, I do not know what goes on in your head. So communication is key, and planning is key when migrating, because when migrating, it's a transition. You are migrating from one side to the other. It's not that you are traveling within your country. You are making a big jump, a big step, a big curve. So in this process, there are a whole lot of things that can come up, but you need to prepare your mind for change as well, because anyone who is not ready for change is not ready for progression as well, because the mindset also helps you to achieve certain things. A good example, where I come from, there is still saying that the woman must submit. Yes. And it's biblical. And it's biblical that the man is also the head of the house. You need to give your spouse that respect. And you need to give your spouse that opportunity for them to show their leadership qualities over the home. But that does not mean that it gives you no opportunity, the other spouse. It doesn't mean that, or it doesn't mean that you need to abuse or take advantage of that respect your spouse is giving you. Because at the end of the day, if two cannot come together, if two cannot walk together, they cannot be together. So as long as you have decided to be together from your home country and to be together in abroad, you should help make things work. Sometimes it's good to research, find things out, ask questions if you are not clear, rather than falling into the wrong hands, because it could be a turning around point for your life in your new environment. I trust that this helps on Ameka and on Wizkid's side as well.
Yeah, so and I think some of the women, not like they live the culture, but their way of living is just like okay, this place back home we don't have the opportunity for certain freedom as marriage and so on. But when we come here, we just like we adopt the system. And you know, here, for example, some couples are 50-50. You know, I pay, you pay. But as the African men, sometimes they don't do that. They still try to manage to keep the culture that we have back home. That I'm a man, I have to take care of you. But some of the women they don't take the good side of the law, but they take the opposite side of it. So when it happens like that, when they adopt the system like that and just like okay, um, I have a chance to throw you out as I said before, and I think that is the culture these whiskey. I don't know, but that's what I think because, as you said, the Indians and the this thing and the Chinese, they always keep their culture because there's, I think it's based in how our us with the freedom we don't get home. No, like as a it's not like as women, as married women, we don't get the freedom as we get here. So when they just get that freedom, they are it's like abusing it, and we are overdoing it because we have the power. Women have a more power here to talk more than home. So I believe that also is one of the things that it didn't help. It's not helping because we all know. Yes, we all know that this we what do you call it? All of us have to respect each other, not because of you put the
Right.
value of marriage
Yes.
as you explained. And the end of the day, people doesn't put down. They put the law before even the relationship and the marriage. You have to it's not because of something like that. Maybe if you ever want to say something, you just start screaming. But from if anything, I'll be the one to be in charge of this house because that's how this place gives us the opportunity to do. So I think this is one of the things that men are also afraid nowadays. And I think, trust me, I think some of them are beginning to learn that they are not ready to even go home to marriage. I see that because first it was really common, but now it's not common. Everybody wants to marry where they are. It's because of the experience they get from other people, the experience some of them get, and the experience that they've seen other people are getting it. And as you said, it's both. The women also, some of them, the women also come and suffer. Suffer. A friend was telling me that where she's working, the woman said that she does not even know how much they are paying her. How much they are paying her,
Mhm.
she doesn't know how much they are paying her. Means she have not even sometimes she have to go and credit cream, you know. So some of them have been really, really abused. As those are the people that want to maintain the culture, they still respect the man. At the end of the day, what happened? How can you be working? You don't know how much they pay you. Their pay slips, everything goes with the man. The man handles
You will
everything.
be surprised. You will be surprised to know that some spouses
Mm.
bring the other spouse to join them abroad just to take advantage of them.
Oh yes,
You'll be surprised. It may appear strange, but it's happening
it's true.
because in some European countries, couples are entitled to some benefits if you are a couple.
Yeah,
So sometimes when you are single, the benefit that comes with being married, you do not get it.
exactly.
Sometimes it's because of these reasons, they just want somebody as a spouse to join them. Some people have this intent. Wherever they get this weird thinking from, I find it hard to understand that you just want to marry somebody and for some benefits. So they can marry you all right. You join them and you have high hopes that you are joining a spouse to better your life. Not knowing the other party is also rather coming to use you to better his life.
Yes.
You will never know all these things till it starts happening as part of the migration thoughts. When these things begin to happen, the spouse who is joining them has no knowledge of where to go and how to go about things. They have no knowledge. So they feel entrapped and they feel being used. But then it also boils down to the fact that you study the one who either wants to marry you or you study the one you are already married to and have been separated for years, you should know who your partner is. You should know what they are capable of doing. And so if you see certain behaviors, characteristics that are not normal, you should be able to pick the red flags. You definitely should be able to see it, talk about it, discuss it, and see how it goes. But if you have been in an abusive relationship that you are used to already, then you must as well continue it. But if you really want a change, you need to bring it up. The fact that you bring it up doesn't mean you are changing your culture, because I don't think there's a culture that says that you should abuse your wife or abuse your husband. I don't think there is a culture like that. It is we who want to do it, and we do it. Therefore, it is we who need to make the change that must make the change. Ameka has had a very bitter experience, and he wants all African women to remain in Africa. No spouse should bring their other spouse abroad. It could be from his encounter that he's had. By same token, America, there are also other men and other women in Europe. But they may also not be as good or innocent as you may think. So we just can trust that we can trust our spouses and get along, and thank God for that. Because someone in abroad can be as bad as someone from Africa.
You are right, absolutely. So I think America, America is one of the. So sorry about that. This kid are disturbing me. So as I said, I believe okay. No, no, okay. America said no. It doesn't have any experience. I think it just
Yes,
for me. No,
I will leave Ameka to his opinion, because we
yeah,
all have our rights to our opinion. He may have had a bad experience,
yeah. America still
but
want me back.
likewise, I'm also a good example of an African woman abroad. So that's what I mean by it can happen anywhere. It can happen to anybody. It could go right, it could go wrong.
It depends on the individual. America is not ready to go for. America want them at home. Sorry, guys.
Jane, would you like to respond to this question?
Okay, which
There,
one is it? Whiskey?
there is a question from Whiskey. Why is it that when the ladies are in Africa, they know the process, position of a man, but when they come here, it's becoming a war?
Okay, Ohui, let me leave the question for you. Help me with that.
Whiskey wants to know, why is it that when the ladies are in Africa, they know the process, position of a man, but when they come here, it's becoming a war? If your spouse knows you in the day, you shouldn't change for her in the night. If your spouse knows how much you earn, how life is in Europe, the cost of living is very, very high in Europe. or abroad. You need to discuss all these things with your spouse. Maybe in Africa, it was reasonable, so you could have some extra monies than usual. But if you come to Europe and maybe your utilities are taking all your monies, your food is taking all your monies. At the end of the month, your rent is also taking your money. You do not have much left. And that's a typical European lifestyle where you do not have much or extra all the time. So it is up to you, the man, or if it's, I think whiskey should be a man. It is up to the man to sit the woman down and explain to them how the new lifestyle is. If possible, let her know your earnings, let her know the expenditures, and get her involved. Let her know that we have water, we have electricity, we have gas, we have heating, we have rent to pay for, so that we can always have roof over our head. It's important basic needs. After this, we move on to food. I don't think a woman will just decide not to understand a man in this regard. But if you hide from the woman and she doesn't know what you earn, and she doesn't know what goes into expenditure, she can assume you are in abroad. Things are bigger and better for you. Therefore, you are trying to play on him or her. So this is where the resentment comes in. They just guess out of their minds. But if you involve them in doing things in time, they will understand. They may also start working. They will see that, oh, I'm working so hard, I'm earning so much. But at the end of the day, I do not even get any extra money, or I do not get excess for myself. How about that? Then reality will begin to dawn on the spouse who has joined from abroad. So I think being transparent as possible is the best way to go in abroad.
Exactly.
Being transparent as best as you can is the best way to go. Otherwise, the misunderstandings and the impressions from the other side of the world to this part of the world will never match. So, Ameka, if you want peace with your spouse that you have brought from abroad, let them know
Try and explain it
everything.
to them.
Everything. Be transparent as
Tell
much
them,
as you
tell
can.
everything. The situation here, it's not easy and cool. I believe if she really loves you, she will understand and cooperate with you. Yeah, it's not it's not been easy. Both we just bless God that we don't have those experience, but those that experience those that are in that situation, is, trust me, it's not something fun. They are going through a lot, especially when you have challenges in your marriage. It's not something that is fun at all. So I believe because of that, when you just have those that have experience, they vow not to even do that mistake again. You know, they vow not to do that again. So as Ohui Isa just said, we have to be transparent. Ohui, okay, he said Ohui, host Ohui, good job. Thank you so much. Thank you for supporting us here.
I'm glad Amaka is beginning to see that not all the women should be left and not brought to abroad. I'm happy to hear that. But I can still see Amaka has an issue. He says, but why is it that ladies abroad don't want to share their money?
Oh. Interesting, Amaka. You really made me laugh. Really?
Why is it that ladies who come from overseas to join their husbands or wife abroad don't want to share their money?
Oh, please help me answer the question.
Amaka has too much experience.
I'm telling you.
We have to invite Amaka to the migration board to help us with some research.
I'm telling you.
It will be very helpful.
I'm telling you. It's not easy.
You
Why they don't
know,
want to share money? Ohui is to help me to answer that question.
I think it also boils down to transparency. I see no why your spouse you have brought from abroad, from overseas to join you abroad, will be hiding her earnings from you. If the environment is in the house is such that you share information, you are open to each other, you are transparent to each other, I don't see why she will have to hide her income unless you, the husband, are doing the same to her. But in other case, now, if we want to go by culture, let's say that in our African culture, it is the man who takes care of the woman. So if the lady or the woman can support you, praise God. If you are both working to support each other, wonderful. But if you are just waiting to look into the woman's coffers, according to your culture, not my culture, you are on the wrong side of your own culture now, because your culture says take care of your wife. So is it that you are taking care of your wife and your wife is not appreciating, or now you want to look into her coffers? If the finances is together, if there's transparency, this should not be a problem, I believe.
And I think what Ameka, let me try to understand his point, is I believe some of the ladies, it's just like because of it's our culture, and this place is not easy. It's not easy. So because of the culture, you are working, you are receiving almost here. It can be the same. Both partners can receive the same salary, and and even if you're not
Mhm.
lucky, that the lady can even have can their salary will be more than the male. And the end of the day, you are not ready to remove the money out, but because the man is the head, you have to take care of everything for that one. If that's what Amaka mean, that mean is wrong. It's wrong. We need to
You see,
participate if you are working.
the culture can be ABCD, but everything depends on you too. Your culture can be such that the man has to provide for the house and do everything. Perfect. Does it mean your culture is such that the woman cannot support the home? Does it mean that because your culture says A, B, C, D, it's just A, B, C, D all the time? There can be a compromise. There can be changes. There can be dynamics in life, you know. So we have the culture, yes. We stand by our cultures. But we can make some compromise sometimes. The fact that the culture of the lady is that a man should always take care of them does not mean they can't work either.
Together.
They can also work and contribute to the home.
Exactly.
It even makes life a lot better for both of you and your family.
Exactly. Because
It reduces the pressure.
Exactly. Exactly. What
It
how can you
reduces
I'm listening what we say.
it reduces the burden being on one side.
Right, exactly.
So it's all a matter of transparency, communication, and a balance.
Mm-hmm. And what I think is why must you working and your husband is working? Then you receive salary. Then you decide to keep your own. But let's spend all my husband's money in the name of culture. It doesn't help. that is not that is
Just,
not we don't apply those kind of culture into our marriage because we
Jane,
have to support.
just a second, okay? I'll leave it with you for a second.
Okay, okay. So as we are talking about, Amaka is saying, asking about why the women in Europe does not like to share their money, and I understand, and I think some of the women, because of the culture we are talking about, the culture of Africa, a man have to take care of a woman. So because of that, when you get your salary, you don't want to participate in the house choice. I think it's wrong. It's wrong because if you are receiving and your husband is receiving, for example, you can be the one to pay for the food, your husband can be the one to pay for the rent, you know. Let's just help one another. Love is sharing. If you don't share, how can you say that you love your husband while you don't want to share with your husband? While your husband is ready to share with you, share his money with you, and you are not ready to share with him. It's not fair. So, Amaka, if what that's what you mean, seriously, I agree with you. It's not fair. We have to do it equal. We are not saying that we should do like the Western one that 50-50, but this one is support one another. Let's support. Let us sit down because I know one guy who said that he used to go out with his what do you call it? Go out with his girlfriend, and there was a time he could not work, and the girlfriend has money, but the girlfriend refused to support because the girlfriend said that because you are the man, you're supposed to. I'm not ready to share my money. So the guy was really disappointed because at that time he was not working and was expecting the lady to support, not like support like giving him money, but the house choice at least you have to participate in some. So most of the guys also face this. The lady packed the money down trying to save money. The lady could always said that he doesn't have money. So one day the guy saw a friend even told the guy that the girlfriend told the guy that hey, this your girlfriend has money because she was working and he was not working. So he said told the guy the girlfriend told the guy that hey, your girlfriend is she has money. She has money. So the guy was like, no, but she told me that she doesn't have money. So one day the guy mistakenly no, I think the lady left his pay. Here we have a liberator. We call it liberator, and it's like a bank book. So she have all the information about her account inside. So when the guy opened the bank book, she saw that there's he saw that the lady have almost 7,000 euros inside his account. So the guy was very disappointed. And the guy was like, how can I be living with a lady who is always telling me that I doesn't have money? But at the end of the day, you have 7,000. What the guy does not have, the little money the guy has, he has to take it and support home. So that one seriously is not fair. So we the ladies that does it here, please let's just stop it and support one another. We say we love each other. It's not just a mouth; it's an action. Love is not about it's tell, show the person. Don't make it as a word like you say, "Oh, I love you, I love you." I love you is not it's not just a word, it's about action. Do something to show the person that he loves you love that person. In a time like this, the guy will need you, need a support. Or we inside is back again. So let me add welcome back, or we inside. Welcome back. So as we are saying, don't worry, I have 20 minutes to leave you. So we have 20 minutes. I'll still keep you 20 minutes. So don't worry, because I know that Ohui inside also have her own program after. So I'm just taking her more time than later on we'll shift to her program I show as well. And you know already who inside is immigration. She's working. She have all the information about immigration. She's very expert when it comes to immigration. So you guys, I'll be happy if we can after this one we go there and see more. And if you want, you can go in to her page or we inside. You can see everything. All the information is there. All the information is in a video showing all the details, how to get everything about immigration. Okay. Thank you for joining us. Oh, we inside. Welcome back. So we are
Thank you to be back again. I have seen a question from Amaka again.
okay.
And Amaka wants Amaka host, the two of you must find me good woman. Over to you, JWTV, because you are the host. Over to you.
You know the two of us. Like the two of us. He said you're me alone. Amaka, you made up your mind that you don't want anybody. You don't want to bring someone. So where do you want us to find the wife for you? Is it here? Or Africa? Amaka answer me said we know what to do. Whether England or Spain. I'm in Spain and Ohui inside is in England. So okay, so please, okay. Okay, here, okay, listening to you from, okay. Yeah, so we are waiting. We are also waiting for you to tell us. Do you want it in here or Africa? Where do you want Amaka? Tell us where you want us to get it for you.
He says he's joining from Spain. Over to you, host.
Oh, really? Okay, Amaka. And welcome back, BQ. Okay, welcome. I'm sorry. Welcome to the building. Thanks for passing by. Good evening to you too. Okay, so let's come back to Amaka. Amaka said what I see. Okay, here. You are joining, okay, in Spain here. So you need a woman in Spain here, right? You want British or Spanish?
Well, all I know is I'm not in Spain, so I'm covered.
No, but you are not covered yet because he's here to answer us.
He wants to know where we are coming from. Amaka, I'm coming from the UK.
Uh-huh. And I'm also in Spain here, but we are Africans.
So over to you.
Okay, I'm in Barcelona, Spain. Okay, so Amaka is in Spain. So Amaka, definitely you don't want Spanish woman, you would have get. So definitely you need Owi inside to help you with British one. Amaka says in Barcelona is here. Okay, so Amaka is here with me. So Ohui side, definitely we need British woman. So we continue with Amaka on. Amaka is talking about what do you call it? Okay, the team BCC also is my husband brought me. Okay, always fight with me. Okay, okay, okay. So you see, okay, so she is saying that the husband and took her passport. Oh, that is not fair. You see, Amaka, you see, other people are facing challenges as well. It's not only the men, you know. Amaka, as you can see, another one is facing challenges of husband seizing her passport and fighting with her always. So, oh, what can you do? Okay, I think I'll leave this one for Wiz because you are in immigration. You can help her with this one. You are working with this, so you can get the information from because she now asking what can she do? What should I do? So
Okay.
help
Uh, is that from who is that coming from? The name. The name.
team
If you
team
can.
team BCC.
Okay. So I see Tim as a lady, and if I may know, well, it can be private, it's fine. Your location is fine. But I asked for location because different locations demands different regulations in how they handle issues. What may be common in Europe may not be common in Africa or Asia because in some parts of Asia, not all Asia, forced marriage is allowed. Forced marriage is allowed. Your family can decide that we want you to marry this man and that's it.
Wow.
When that happens, no matter how you scream, no matter how you shout, nobody will come to your rescue.
Oh, this is
If
so
the situation is like that, it becomes difficult. It becomes a cultural issue that needs change. So let's say you are in Africa, Asia, we know some parts of them, they are very domineering. But if you are in Europe, he can be domineering. It can be his culture. But there are also regulations that can help you out of the situation. So let's take, for instance, if you are in the UK and your husband brought you to UK as an example, he has this responsibility to look after you as a spouse for 5 years, whether you work or you don't work. He must look after you. So if we want to go into the regulation, failure for him to do this is a breach of law because during the process of making the application, he signed an undertaking or she signed an undertaking that you will not be taken care of by the government for 5 years. You will do this. So if he brings you here and he starts avoiding his responsibilities, it's very easy, or even if it's not easy and you speak out, you can get help. And the fact that he's taking your passport, I don't know what the reason may be, could be a sign that he wants you under his umbrella.
is it my network or what? What is the problem? What is the problem? Sorry, guys. I don't know what is wrong with my channel.
I'm seeing you clearly here. I think it's Jane's side. So the fact that, example is the UK, your spouse has brought you to the UK, he owes it as a responsibility to look after you. So if it happens he's not doing this and you are starving, he's not maintaining you, he's not providing for your needs, and all it ends is abuse, I do not know how you can continue this without needing help. So in the UK, you can get help where the social services will be involved. They will speak to your husband. They will try their best to resolve the issue among you two, unless all effort fails and you feel he continues to abuse you, then you will have to advise yourself, as in if you want to continue to be in such a relationship or you need to make some changes. Okay. Sorry, we've had a problem with the transmission. For this reason, our host is unable to come on, but we were just close to the end of our session. I hope we have been able to dissect and unfold this topic, and we continue to come your way again soon. JWTV has more to unfold. So we all thank you for your time. We thank you for joining, and we look forward to seeing JWTV again soon. Thank you so much. And I will say bye for now. And on behalf of JWTV, bye. Thank you. Bye.